Leagues 4 has officially started and we have 2 months to discover all the possible relics, regions and builds to have the most fun experience. In today's video I want to keep it simple. I want to show you the most fun builds old school RuneScape players have come up with and how to use them during leagues, because there is a specific combination of items, regions and relics that are first of all extremely broken and second of all a lot of fun. So let's get started, and as a professional YouTuber it is my job to get on my knees, get comfortable and beg you to subscribe. Yeah, you thought it's gonna go somewhere else, didn't you? Okay, first build, and this is my absolute personal favorite. It is called the Mosquito Build and it is the most fun thing I've ever seen. The entire idea is that you will never ever get below 99 hit points, and here's how you do it. First you have to pick the melee relic, which makes all your 5 attack cycle weapons be 2 attacks now. Next you need to pick Mauritania and grind out 2 things in that region. First is full cotton set. Since cotton's force spear is a 5 attack cycle weapon, it now becomes 2 attack cycle. Second thing you need in Mauritania is Blood Fury, which can be obtained through Trickster Relic, because that one offers you infinite blood shards through thieving the wires. And on top of that, Jagex added the ancient prayers into leagues, and one of the prayers in that book is called Kruro's Vow, which heals you for 3 hit points every time you kill a monster. But we're not done yet. We already have 3 different sources of healing on our 2 attack cycle weapon, but we keep going. The other prayer in the prayer book is Rejuvenation, which restores your hit points at 3x rate. You do see where we're going here, right? And that's not everything. If you also get hit points cape from Desert, which also doubles your hit point regeneration, and you also get Regen Bracelet, which you guessed it, also doubles your hit point regeneration, you get something like this. You now have 6 different sources of healing your character. On top of that, the melee relic offers you 50% increased defense, meaning you don't take a lot of damage in the first place, because you are going to be very tanky. And you can even play around with the relics, like let's say you take Undying Retribution, which basically means that even in some odd cases, if you don't have enough healing and you die, which shouldn't happen, well, guess what? You just come back to life and you can continue healing no matter what. It's a bulletproof build that will get you basically through anything. And like I mentioned before, since your Gutton's War Spear is on a 2 attack cycle, it's as fast as Blowpipe. Just bam, always healing, always 99 hit points. Oh, and another thing, since this build requires the Ruinous Powers prayer book, you don't have to take Kandarin for piety anymore. This prayer book has actually much better offensive stats, and since it's a relic, you don't sacrifice a region for it. For example, the Decimate prayer gives you 27% strength bonus, which is an insane number. If you combine that with the melee relic 50% accuracy boost, you basically never hit a 0 with your Gutton's Force Spear. So we have full Gutton's Blood Fury, 2 methods of healing from our prayer book, with increased offensive stats, hit point cape, regen bracelet, and all the insane stats you get from melee relic. You are gonna be an unstoppable force wherever you go. The reason why I like this build so much is because the only region you're forced to pick is Mauritania. The 2 options are available to you wherever you want to go, giving you a lot of freedom in what otherwise is a very restricted leagues. You want to do raids, you want to go Wilderness, Fremennik, maybe discover Seiya for raids and get the Soul Reaper axe. I mean, this build is perfect for that. I will say the Cotton's War Spear has 75 strength bonus, which is a little bit less than Abyssal Whip if you're looking to compare TPS, so it's not gonna be the best damage output for in-game content, but the Mosquito build sure as hell is fun. AFKing raids, Slayer, basically any PvM encounter is now possible if you have the auto retaliate on. Now believe it or not, you can do the Mosquito build with other 2 combat styles as well. If you go with Magic Relic, you need full Virtus set from Desert Treasure 2 bosses, because that gives you 12% increased damage from all ancient spells. And the spell you're looking for is Blood Barrage. It's the same principle again. Blood Barrage is a 2 attack cycle spell, and whenever you unlock Desert, you can just buy the ancient staff as soon as you unlock the region. The Vaporize prayer from Ruinous prayer book gives you 4% increased damage, and you can even take Kandarin for extra 15% magic damage. You're gonna keep hitting 40s every 2 attack cycle, and you constantly keep yourself full hit points with insane accuracy, so you never miss. For range relic, the best option you have is Enchanted Onyx Bolts, which can be obtained through Karamja with the Fire Sale relic. If you don't know, the Fire Sale relic allows you to buy any items from any store for free. So what you can do is buy millions of death runes from Magic Store, go to Karamja, sell those runes for Tuckle, and buy infinite uncut onyxes. Then you can turn those onyxes into Onyx Bolt tips with the Sarai Crossbow special attack, which is guaranteed to proc any Enchanted Bolt special attack. You will constantly keep healing over and over again. Or I guess you can also just use a Blowpipe. So now that you've seen the Mosquito build, I wish you nothing but happy healing, but we're not done yet. I still want to show you a few more fun builds, and the next one is probably the most popular one and also one of my personal favorites. the door build. I'm sure many of you have already heard about it, but for those who haven't, let me fill you in on this incredible, most overpowered fun build in these leagues. First of all, for the door build you need an item called Din's Bulwark, which is a purple rare drop from Chambers of Serik, meaning you need to have current region unlocked. The second item you need is Blood Fury, because Din's Bulwark special attack and Blood Fury have a very fascinating interaction between each other, where if you use a special attack it counts as a way to proc Blood Fury. Along with the special attack relic, which gives you essentially infinite special attacks, you can just keep clicking the Din's Bulwark special attack, heal to full hit points and continue attacking. Now believe it or not, that's not the main reason why this build is so broken. Din's Bulwark has a passive effect, where in simple terms, the tankier you are, the more damage you deal to your enemies. So for example, being naked with this weapon, not very good, but having full Justiciar is a complete game changer. And to add on top of that, your defense is gonna be increased by 50% with the melee relic. So as you can see from here, I'm ranging between like 400 to 500 defense bonus, and this isn't even the best form you can go. 50% added on top of that would increase my defenses stats over 700, and I can safely confirm that there isn't an even single NPC in Old School RuneScape that has better stats than your character. Furthermore, the melee relic makes your Din's Bulwark go from 5 attack cycles to 2 attack cycles, which again, like we established, is as fast as Blowpipe in the main game. So it will take 0 damage in almost any scenario. The only thing you have to worry about is magic damage, but guess what? We have a prayer for that, which will neglect almost any magic damage. Now the downside of this is that you need a lot of setup. You do need to get 3 purples from Theater of Blood, you need to get a specific purple from Chambers, you need to spend a lot of time to make this build happen in general. People are thinking of swapping out full Justiciar for full Dorva, because the damage is gonna be better, but you're also gonna be a little bit less tanky. And with full Dorva you can also sacrifice the Mauritania region in general. Yes, you do lose Blood Fury as well, but with the Ruinous Prayer Book and some regeneration items, you can neglect that healing and go for damage instead. Overall, this build in general will be around 100 hours of work just to get there, but the payoff will be absolutely worth it. Your max hit is gonna be around 65 with the Ruinous Prayer Book, and things like AFK Inferno become a possibility. Also, this goes for every single boss. I mean, your RuneScape experience is essentially gonna be an idle game. You just have to check in every once in a while, because you're just so tanky, you take almost 0 damage, and if you do, you just heal it back up. So at the end, it's one of those builds that's gonna be very time consuming, but on the other hand, if you do manage to complete it, you're gonna be an unstoppable force. Good luck with your door build. Now before we end, I wanna show you some other fun builds that are not as overpowered, but thanks to the relic options we have, they allow very fun interactions that otherwise you wouldn't see in the main game. And we're starting off with Dark Bow. This weapon is gonna be on 4 attack cycles, which is not the fastest. However, with the range relic, there is a 10% chance to fire an extra projectile, and since Dark Bow fires 2 arrows at once, there is gonna be occasions where you can fire up to 4 arrows all at once. The same goes for Venator Bow, which is gonna be 2 attack cycle weapon. It fires up to 2 extra projectiles, and those projectiles have a chance to fire another projectile. So essentially you can have a chain reaction going all over the place. It fires up to 3 hits, each one has a chance to proc extra hits, so there is a world where you can hit 6 times in 1.2 seconds. And to end the range relic choices, I truly hope that someone is gonna go with Dragon Knives build, because that weapon is gonna be 1 attack cycle weapon, meaning hitting every 0.6 seconds. And that thing is gonna be an absolute machine gun. If you add on top of that the special attack relic, the damage output of that weapon is something I can't even put into this video. It's just so insane. The only downside with Dragon Knives is that the best way to get them would be in quantity of 750 Dragon Knives on average from Alchemical Hydra, and the drop rate for that is 1 in 400, which means on average you need to complete 2 Alchemical Hydra tasks before you can unleash the power. And the last one in this quickfire round, and this is the funniest one, the Godsword Pentakill deck. And the entire idea revolves around melee relic with the Godsword special attacks. Which one, you ask? Well, all of them. Wanna lower your opponent's stats? Bandos Godsword. Wanna freeze your opponent? Samurai Godsword. Wanna heal hit points and prayer? Saradomin Godsword. Want good DPS and healing? Ancient Godsword. Wanna hit an 80? Sure. Guess what? We have Armadale Godsword. All of these weapons are going to be on 3 attack cycles, and with the special attack relic, which gives you 100% accuracy on your special attacks, you will always deal damage. It's an absolutely balls to the walls build that allows you to use different decks in different scenarios, and it's by no means the best build, but it sure as hell is funny. And also, if you pick a Skarnia, there's likely going to be a task where you have to complete all Godswords anyways, so I might as well put them to use. Now, my final build is gonna be the triple R build. What is triple R, you ask? Well, it's called Region Relic Roulette, and the entire purpose of the build is to let the random number generator decide all of your regions and relics. And with that, you try to come up with the best possible builds. You need to think on the spot and take the best out of your relics and regions, but also there could be terrible outcomes like melee relic in Prifddinas or getting the magic relic without desert. The reason why I want to recommend this build is because for me, I've now spent hours and hours trying to come up with good Leagues 4 run. But honestly, everything sounds so good. There really isn't much downside to all the relics or regions. It's just about what you enjoy the most. And for me personally, I actually don't mind trying out everything. So that's what I'm likely gonna go with. The triple R deck. Region Relic Roulette. By now, if you didn't notice, the most fun builds always come from melee builds because it does have so much variety compared to range or magic. I can name you 20 melee weapons that are all gonna be viable options. Whereas for magic and range, they're just like 2 or 3 weapons that are realistically very good. So if you're also debating which combat style to go in general, go melee. You can't go wrong with that. In fact, I made an entire video about using melee relic if you wanna go check that out. Or maybe you just wanna see me talking with Mod Husky about Leagues 4. Both of those videos are on your screen right now, but from me, I thank you so much for watching this video and I wish you all happy Leagues experience. I love you all very much. Bye.